Next project, we're going to use real flowers to make a beautiful card. The things that you'll need are some watercolor pencils, an assortment of papers to make your card base and to do some layering to make an interesting card. You'll need a piece of cardboard and several sheets of paper towel, and of course you're going to need a real flower. In addition to that, our basic supplies are a hammer, some tacky glue, a pair of scissors, and decorative scissors if you have them. We'll need a paintbrush and a little dish of water. So let's go ahead and get started. Now we do have a pattern on our website, but the pattern is just for a pot and simple leaves and stems, so if you want, you can just do your own. We're going to set it aside for the moment, and the first thing we're going to do is make our flowers. Now you can see I have a few samples here of other flowers that we've made, and you can use any type of flower for this, but pink ones and red ones work the very best. You'll want to experiment a little bit and see what results you get from different flowers. So the flower I have is actually from a Christmas cactus, and you can see that there's many layers to it. And the best flowers actually work if they aren't too big and thick, so a single layer of petals is best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away the bottom of this flower so that I just have one single layer of petals. And if I wanted to, I could use this to do a second flower. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put down my cardboard, and then I'm going to put down a layer of paper towels, and then I have to put some paper down. So I'm going to put this first piece of paper, put my flower on it, and you can see I've done another flower here already. Then I've got one more piece of plain paper on top of that, and another layer of paper towels. Now all of these towels are going to give a little bit of cushioning to protect both your surface underneath and so that you don't just kind of mess up the flower completely so that it's unrecognizable. So you want to begin by hammering the flower gently, and you're going to go all over the surface of the flower. Now it's good to kind of peek underneath there and see what's happening as you go. So you can see that I've just begun pounding it and it's flattened out a little bit, but I'm not getting very much color. So I'm going to keep on pounding. And what this does is it transfers all the dye from the flower petal into the paper. And so that when you're done, you're going to end up with petal ink. So I'm going to keep pounding a little bit. It's going to be very loud. And then I'm just going to switch over here and show you that I've got most of the imprint of the flower. Now I could keep pounding on this and getting a little bit more color out, but often, even though you keep going and going, you'll find that the very center of your petals doesn't leave a lot of color behind. So another option is to go and take the petal back and use it as kind of a paintbrush and put a little bit more color into the center of your flower. So you can see that that's what I did with this flower right beside it. And I've got a nice filled area. The next thing I'm going to do is take a pencil, and I've gone ahead and let this flower dry completely. And you can also see that you can take away all the little bits of flour and just wipe them off to the side. So I'm going to take this pencil, and it's actually a watercolor pencil. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to now outline each of my petals. And I want to do this fairly lightly so that I kind of keep that nice delicate look to the flowers. So after I've outlined, I can take my paintbrush and a little bit of water, and then I can blend my pencil lines right into the petals and the actual ink from the petals. And you can see how beautifully that blends, and it looks very natural and gives that extra little outline to each of the flowers. You can also go in with a little bit of yellow and put a center inside your flower. So after that's all done, again, you can let it dry because you've used water with your watercolor pencils. And I've gone ahead and I've cut out a couple of leaves and some stems. So I'm going to take my green watercolor pencils, and I'm going to color on those a little bit to each side. Now you could try and doing the pounding technique with the leaves. You might not be able to get as much color out of them, but it is very fun to experiment. So again, I'm going to take a little bit of water, and I'm going to blend my colors. And you can see, even though I put no color along this edge, I can blend and pull the color out and make it look like a beautiful watercolor leaf. Once you're all done with your flowers, you can go ahead and trim those away, let your leaf dry, and then we can build our card. So we'll just take a card base, which I've already folded and cut. I've used decorative scissors to cut this piece of paper out. We'll put our flowers on. I also cut a little pot out of corrugated cardboard. And then we would add our leaves, And our stems, which I did the exact same way as the leaves. And tuck those under there. And you build a beautiful card made out of real flowers. Let's take a look at our finished project. I've gone ahead and I've put this one in this wonderful little rucksack lunch bag, and you can see how it's nicely framed in there.